Just landed up there, I think. Nice. Now he's gonna go right up top. Oh, we already have a colorful guy up there. Look at that. But I think it works better when the only dark thing in the frame is the bird you're working with. Like that. Look at him, he's so actively hunting. Beautiful blue on this Western Bluebird. There we go. Nice, turn your head. Oh, this is so much fun. Loving these bluebirds. Hey, good morning everyone. All right, so out here at this really neat farm in Central California, just outside of Yosemite. We're like an hour and a half outside of Yosemite here, which is why we came here, and that's where we've been staying. We stayed here 3 nights. It's the last morning here. Yesterday we did, or 2 days ago, we did a full day in Yosemite, and yesterday was, we did a long hike that day, so yesterday was do nothing day. So this morning I had the ability to get out and shoot on this property. The farm owners have 100 acres of property here, and the few times I've been out walking and biking around on the property here, I've seen a decent number of birds, specifically acorn woodpeckers, which is what I really wanted to get, but didn't work out this morning. That was kind of my hopeful bird. Certainly saw them, but they just are treetop, and I don't really have the time to spend here to try and figure them out, which is a bummer. I think most of the time, based on this habitat, they're gonna be spent up higher because there's just a lot of really large trees here and no way to get kind of eye level with them. Whereas the last time we saw acorn woodpeckers at another one of our stops about a week ago, there was much more low vegetation and snags where you could kind of get eye level with them or closer to eye level. And it seemed like that spot was a little bit more of an advantage for shooting them. With everything being large here, it's kind of tough. So anyway, I just wanted to go out and see what I could get this morning. Started out with some wild turkeys. The first 20 minutes, half hour were really, really challenging because there are a lot of cats here that the farm owners have, which are adorable and great, but they're really friendly, which is nice for, you know, cuddling and petting them, but not nice for them following you around. So I had 5 or 6 cats following me the whole morning, which made any songbird photography really, really challenging. They just were, everything was flushing from that. I finally ditched the cats and then was able to get on some Western Bluebirds and spend some time with that. So the setup here, guys, as usual with most of my travels like this, not a lot of setup. You know, it was just, we've been here for a few days. I was able to get out and scout around a little bit just to see that there's some decent number of birds here. That being said, it doesn't really require scouting. I could have done this the first morning I arrived here without having done anything else, and I would have basically done the same approach, just wander around to see what I could see. You'll see at the end though, we had a really good spot with some nice, strong dramatic light, some options for some backgrounds, so some strong side lit dramatic stuff into a black background with some green backgrounds, and then eventually flipping around to backlight. Didn't get a lot of shots with the backlit stuff, but was able to get maybe 1 or 2 that might work out. I'm not really sure. We'll have to see. But anyway, thanks for joining along. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and it was a fun one. It was just a nice, beautiful morning, beautiful scenery here in California, and I love the rolling hills out here in this habitat, and nice to hang out and shoot some birds that I don't get to photograph a lot. All right, that's it for this one. I'll see you guys on the next one. Hey, good morning, everybody. I know there are acorn woodpeckers here, California scrub jays. There's some wild turkeys out there. I hear what I think is a black phoebe. All right, guys, we got the wild turkey coming up here. And what I'm thinking is that I can try and get some of this pink sky in the background. I'm gonna bump up the exposure compensation just a little bit. I am using the road here, but it kind of looks natural. I'm really just trying to play in with these pink skies. I think I want to get lower and closer to the road though. So I'm going to creep up just a little bit, hopefully not freak them out. And then I'll just get this lower perspective. And see, that's just going to blur it out a little bit more. It's hard when there's a flock. See, this is nice right in here. If I had just a single one, let's see if we can get just this guy or girl. Well, that might be a tom. Anyway, composing on the left-hand side there. I don't like the birds on the right that much. Oh, here we go, we got this guy. Let's see, I'm trying to find isolated birds. Oh, something just freaked them all out. Not sure what, I wasn't moving. We're gonna lose the pink sky now because we're shooting down the slope. So that's kind of out of play now. Get your less than wild sounds over here. But anyway, this field looks way more natural, and I can just stay standing here to shoot it down the slope here. So again, I'm gonna bump up that exposure compensation just a little bit here. I'm shooting at 2.8, aperture priority, auto ISO. Got this guy down the road here. Nah, not really. Here we go. See if we can get this one isolated. Again, I'm just looking for these individuals. Now off to the left here, because I can see this ground, I don't like the blur there, so I actually want to get lower. Jeez. I actually want to get lower on that to blur that foreground a little bit. See? Everything's walking away now too. But then over here, I can get away with standing up because I'm shooting through this foreground field. That's kind of pretty. I'll compose them high and low in the frame. Well, guess not. All right, so we'll head out into this field just a little bit. They're definitely a little skittish. Not horrible, but a little. So I don't want to keep pushing them. But I'm loving this grass here. See, now everything seems a bit more chill. See, without the grass, like without all these tall grasses in the foreground, see how much is in focus right there when I focus on this one? But look what happens when I come over here and I'm shooting through all the foreground stuff. It's out of focus and it's just a much cleaner look. Everybody's turned away. We got all this wildlife right over here. Kitten's following me around. All right, here we go. Maybe this one. Oh, this guy, come on. There we go. Plus you got the ones running in the background, kind of cool. I was gonna try and compose them out. Gotta take a cat off of me. Very friendly cats. It's running. See, I think I'm gonna not chase them anymore. Oh, they see my furry microphone, the cats. They want that. We got just a couple of turkeys up here isolated. Don't like the road in the background there on this one. If it wasn't for that, this would be a decent composition. So we'll just keep an eye on them as we get closer here. I think these are young turkeys being called in. This is so funny. Yeah, I think this is mom over here calling these guys. I'm gonna try and sneak down in this field just a little bit. So we're shooting down this slope so much right now. I can't get any really good backgrounds. More importantly, I can't get any good foregrounds that I want. And so I'm just gonna try and casually make my way down in here. I mean, they're very aware of me. I'm not trying to sneak in or hide. I'm just moving slow and sort of right in between the pack. Probably the cats following me doesn't help. I think that freaks the turkeys out a little bit more than me. But at this point, if I can get down in here, you can see I can start to get something out of this. I feel like I need to just go a little bit lower here with this, so I'm gonna try and head down this way a little bit more. See from here, there's like enough shallow depth of field that the head is standing out against that background. In fact, it's kind of a fun texture and pattern. I'm gonna darken the exposure a little bit, compose them in the bottom left of the frame there. Good texture, I like that shot. Let's take a look, see what else. I love all the yellow down there, but it's just kind of pile of birds. That is not great. And then up here we have a few that are kind of standing out nicely. Darken the exposure a little bit, looking. Here, woodpecker. There we go. Looks like we probably have one of our friendly acorn woodpeckers up here. Yep. Oh, look at that. Look at all the acorn holes. Beautiful birds. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do any photography today, guys, with these cats following. Is just like ridiculous. These birds are just kind of piled into the brush. Makes sense. There's a bunch of predators around. So one thing you can try when you're shooting down on a subject and we have no separation, if you have good contrast between your subject and its surroundings, we can try and sort of wash it out. So look, I'm gonna go right about there, try and come up with an interesting composition. And my goal here is to sort of wash out the surroundings. So I'm plus 2 1/3 stop. And then we can compose something interesting. We could try with this bird up here too. But I think it works better when the only dark thing in the frame is the bird you're working with, like that. Maybe even vertical would help on this, because then I don't have that brush pile in the bottom corner. So now we're gonna wait for, and there's that brush pile. I was gonna say, we'll wait for the bird to give a better shape. So there, that should do it for that. Finally ditched the cats, let's move on. Just found the black phoebe. There he is up there. Not a great shot from here. So we can get closer, it'll be just blue sky, which is not my favorite, especially with light like this. The only way I can get some green background, because he's landed completely on the top of this tree, is to move back, which then, I'm all for small in the frame, but that's really tiny. Even with the teleconverter in, that's still pretty tiny, mainly because of how busy the trees are there. So, not loving that idea. So I think we're gonna move in and see if he lands anywhere but the top of the tree. Well, now we have a little bit of clouds to play in with there, but look how lost he is. See, like again, even if I put the teleconverter in, he is not standing out, so it's not worth taking the shot here. I mean, it's definitely more interesting with the clouds back there. I certainly like that, but it's not a shot. Like the leaves are in front of him. Yeah, it's just not a shot I'm interested in. It's not gonna be a great shot in the end. And maybe we could play with some foreground here. Shooting through some of these leaves, but I feel like that issue is the foreground's too close to him, so it's still busy. I mean, I'll grab one because that's the best framing I've come up with yet for him. Try down here this way. Nah, it's just a lot of tree at that point, and that was with the teleconverter in. If I continue to move this way, I lose the foreground, although he is more out in the open now. I will say that, but it's just plain blue sky. Not pretty at all. Just a very boring shot. What a bummer I can't get a background on him. If that tree was just a little bit shorter, or the hill behind it a little bit taller, there's a potential shot there, like right here, you know? Like this perspective, zoomed in with the teleconverter, cropped like that to minimize all the other junk, would kind of work. The light on the bird is beautiful. Take a look at that. Like, look at, see, there, oh, here we go. He moved. Let's see where he comes after he hunts. All right, he seems to have moved on. All right, guys, so I'm seeing some birds landing out on this snag. Looks like some Western Bluebirds. Very cool. So let's go see if we can make something happen with that. Sorry, I'm out of breath. Kind of ran up this hill because I saw them. So from my perspective, where I'm walking up here, the first shots I'll probably take, if they stay there, and they're likely to not stay there, but they're likely to go back there because it looks like a really good like hunting vantage point for them. So from here, it's just going to be clean green background, I'm sorry. But I would like to go down into that way and shoot back up this way into the shade. And then with that bright wood and the bright birds, I could hopefully put them against a black background. And that would give me a dramatic shot instead of just a plain front lit shot, which honestly in this light isn't going to be that great. So that will be my goal, is to try and work my way around. So I'm going to slow my pace down now that I'm getting closer. See how they keep going up there? There's one up there, one right there. So they seem to like these tall vantage points, which makes sense. So we just have to not scare them. Now, I'm fine with the size of them in a shot from here, even at 400 millimeter. I could always throw the teleconverter in, but that blue background is killing me. So I want to try and get them against some trees. And the other issue is, you see this fence here? That's as close as I can get. Can't cross this barbed wire fence. It's the edge of this gentleman's property. And so I can't really get close enough to get a really nice blurred background. I mean, it'll be enough. Like, let's take a look here. Now we got some green behind them, but check that out. See, it's enough. Like, especially for this guy here, watch, we'll darken the exposure. See that little black patch right there? I'll try and put him right in that. Maybe we'll compose it like this, wait for him to turn his head. Come on, buddy. Oh, I just got chased off by the other ones. But see, very cool. This is something that'll probably keep happening. And that's gonna be like home base territory for somebody. So while that one bird is out chasing off the other ones, I'll try and move into position here to set myself up for that dark background. And then just stay put and hopefully wait for them to come back. Wait for anything to come back. In fact, I think I see one on it already, and there's one further back. Check it out, right in through there. Look at that. That's really cool. Now, too bright here and here, but we can get closer and move up and shoot over top of this front log. And if we move to the right a little bit, actually a good bit, that one just went down. All right, so I'm gonna slide in this way and then just kind of crouch down here. This should be a good vantage point. Now, here's an important part. You ready? I want to make sure I keep that perch right there visible, because that was the sort of snag that's sticking out on the opposite side. But look at this. See how much more drama I'm getting here? And in fact, if I expose really, truly for the highlights on those logs, look at that. Almost a solid black background. Right? Way more interesting than shooting that front light. Now all I gotta do is wait for a bird to land on it. Something landed further back. It shouldn't take long. There we go, right on the point there. Compose it like this. Can go even darker. Right, I just want to set that exposure till it looks good. Let's throw the teleconverter in. This is a really tiny bird. Not sure what it is yet. Let's wait for him to turn. Might have been like a yellow rump or something. But here we go. Nice, cool, creative setup. Oh, I missed that one up top. It's all right. More will come back. I also have, oh, what's running around up there? Probably another cat. Yep. Not a surprise. That should kick everybody out over this way. Although they seem pretty confident. That one's just staying there. What do we got sitting there? Junco, maybe? Yeah. All right, here we go. Look right onto this perch here. I don't like where he is. There we go. That's a little bit better. I'd love him to be up top. Oh, here we go. Oop, missed focus on that. Where'd that other one go? All right, let's work with this guy. So we're gonna compose with space in the direction he's looking. I don't like how dominant that perch is. So actually I tried to minimize it, and now I'm gonna wait for him to look out to the left here. So there's a good exposure on the bird. So now I want him to look down and to the left, hopefully. Let's see if we can get that. Because then he should still be kind of side lit. There we go, see? I got light in the face. But like, look at this. That's just such a dominant perch for him. It's just too much. Also, I'm running into, with auto ISO, depending on my composition now, the exposure's changing based on what I have in there. So I'm actually gonna switch back to manual. We're gonna turn off auto ISO. We got the teleconverter in, so I'm gonna flip the teleconverter out to 2.8 here, and we'll just set our exposure 200 ISO, 3200th of a second. Looks pretty good. Oh, look at this. We got a little meeting of the birds right here. Strong contrasty light, so I really got to work with angles and positions here. I'm going to try vertical and minimizing that log. You can open up a little bit on the exposure here. See the bird on the right here is shadowing the bird on the left, so that's not working for us right now. But we do have some birds in here that we can play with, which is fun. There we go. Another one just hopped up in the back. Let's throw the teleconverter in. Focus on that. Let's see if he goes all the way to the top. Ah, he bailed. All right, here we go. Now we got better position on these guys. Oh, that one's even better. Let's include the log for some, get rid of it for others. Come on back, focus. Just minimize it, wait for him to look out into the, there it is. There's a very specific direction. I'm a little steep on the angle, so sun's over here. I mean, I'm pretty much 90 degrees right now. It'd be nice to be a little bit less than that. So if I can move in into the right here. So let's see if they tolerate a slight slow movement here. And if not, we'll just crouch back down again. So I'm moving in and to the right to change that angle of the sun just a little bit for me, just to try and kind of ease it up here. Let's see what we can get. I think this is the female right here. Lighten up the exposure just a little. There's the light in her eye. I don't love that log though, perched like that. It's just that all those man-made cuts in it aren't the best. If I was really close, maybe it would be a little different. So I'm just moving really, really slow here. I mean, I'm out in the open, no cover. The sun is on me now. So there's nothing much to hide me. But if I just stay with slow movements, there we go. Oh, the male just landed up there, I think. Nice. Now he's gonna go right up top. Oh, we already have a colorful guy up there. Look at that. Let's compare. Oh, I missed the chase. That's kind of fun pose right there. I don't like the foreground I have in here with this big dumb log. There we go, we got one back up top again. That's nice. Compose him out this way, give him a little bit of space. Now let's see if, I'm gonna slide this way just a little bit. If they do that again, that sort of chase. Oh, I thought that was gonna be it. I was gonna say we might be able to get some flight shots here. I'm gonna drop the exposure just a little bit, trying not to overexpose those whites. But it's getting hard to see. Oh, I missed that. It's getting hard to see, so I'm gonna hop into the menu here, turn off the exposure matching, so now I can see what the heck is happening here. But it's still, remember, I'm shooting dark. So now I can watch their exposure better. So look at this. We'll compose in on him. There's the angle I want him to look into. Let's wait. There. Try a couple different compositions. Stitch that teleconverter. Show a little bit more of this trunk. Wait for him to turn out to the right here. Look like into that light, into the composition. There we go. Some of those should work quite nicely. Now we also have another bird right here. We can just put him against the dark there. There he's looking into it. I really want them up top though there. Like that would just look a lot better. It's really hard to see how this is gonna look though, isn't it? When it's so dark like that. See, now we can do like a green background there, put the teleconverter in, compose out this way. Light was perfectly on the side of the face there. That worked out quite nicely. Oh, who's this just rolling in? Hey there, buddy. Oh, look at that blue. Lighten the exposure just a touch. Compose out this way. Waiting for that light. Like I want him to turn his head this way just a little bit more. There, that was it. Now he's going to turn into it, so compositionally that would make more sense. But I don't really like all that cut stuff right there with this composition. But we could go vertical and minimize some of that. So let's try that. Look at him, he's so actively hunting. Beautiful blue on this Western Bluebird. There we go. Nice, turn your head towards us a little bit more. Oh, I missed it, I think. He angled his head just really nice there. Let's go over to the party over here. Let's wait for him to turn his head. If we have like a finch or something. Oop. All right, I'm gonna take advantage of this time to move in a little bit closer here. Just come right up to the edge of the fence here. They don't seem to mind my presence. So now I can just hang here. I'm gonna put the exposure matching back on because it was mildly challenging to judge exactly what I was getting there. This is good, look, lighten it up just a little bit. Put them up in that right corner. I'm trying to crop out the big dominant light thing, trunk on the left. Now it's okay to use it. I'm gonna move slightly to the left. Here comes the really blue one. I'm moving slightly to the left to put him more in the black there. There we go. Nice. Oh, look at this guy down here. Oh, nice layering. When I had the second bird. There we go. Let's wait for him to turn out to the right maybe. Oh, this is so much fun. Loving these bluebirds. Oh. I kind of like having one in focus here and then the second one out of focus in the back. I really would love to get one of those interactions between them too. Here we are out in the green. The light's a little harsh just for that green background, I feel like. I feel like it works on the black, but not so much on the green. Like this just looks strong and kind of gnarly. All right, we're gonna try one more thing here. Since we got plenty of these shots, let's see if we can go all the way around down here and get a little bit. It's not gonna be perfectly backlit, but if we can get a little bit of backlight going on this, it could work quite nicely. This is gonna look amazing, guys. Oh yes. Oh yes. Look at that. Look at that glow. Every one of these birds. Now, we're still not quite backlit enough. It's strong sun. Let's move over to the left a little bit more. The problem is gonna be, I don't know if I can get it against all the black here. Yeah, I can. Okay, good. But we also got this perch out here. And this guy's looking great. Wish he would have turned the other way into the sun, but that's okay. Now watch. We'll just darken the exposure here and we can get it close to black, if not totally black. Using the camera to kind of shield my eyes from the sun. So this seems like the spot right here. So I'm moving into position to put the darkest section. So watch this. See how there is this light green outline there? So I'm putting this right where it goes up the highest right there. This section I won't worry about, and this section should be totally black. Also, it gives me this one back again. So yeah, I'm using my lens hood to just sort of block the sun so I can see what's happening there. And now we just have to stand here and wait. It shouldn't be long before they come back and hunt again, hopefully. Yeah, the sun is pretty harsh. It's 2 hours after sunrise. So that's strong light, which is about time to stop shooting any kind of front and side light, and a good time to start trying to shoot this backlit stuff. Well, seemed like a good idea, but I guess they moved on. Maybe they're hunting another spot right now. They don't seem to be coming back. The light's just getting stronger and harsher, and unfortunately I don't have all morning to hang out, so we'll kind of make our way back to the van, see if we find anything along the way. Maybe we'll turn up those bluebirds again. But conceptually, I think that was a good move. I already had the other shots. The light was only getting harsher that way. And I think I got 1 or 2 backlit shots, so we'll see. If we don't get any more shots, it was still a great morning, a lot of fun. Nice to get some Western Bluebirds. I don't get to photograph them very often at all. I really was hoping, my goal was to get a good Acorn Woodpecker, but that just didn't happen. I wouldn't necessarily want the bright sky or the bright backgrounds out this way and this way. They'd be a little harsh, and shooting like even through here, like check this out. If we look this way, let's say we had something on this brush right here. Look at the background. See all the hot spots? Now that background right there is kind of cool, but look in there. See that really bright spot there? And if we come over this way, it's getting a little harsh, you know? I mean, some of it maybe could work, right? But it's just a little bit much. This background right in here is kind of nice and pleasing. So there are backgrounds that can work there, but for the most part, like if you're trying to shoot something like out here with that background's so bright, you're basically looking at a silhouette here, which you could do, but you're not gonna get a great exposure on the bird. Come in here and photograph something close on something like this, nice shaded background, even light, totally works.